Issei would stand before the others, his anger set ablaze in a fury of vengeance. Rias and the others couldn't believe how fast he had gotten here. The barrier had been removed just before his arrival, as now the joint rogue gods and titans stood together over the body of the fallen god Zeus. "Where is Asia?" Issei would ask. "That's what I would like to know. She is in possession of my birthright. If she turns herself over to me and gives the power, I will allow for you to leave in peace. You and all of your companions. You are not of Olympian descent and you have no reason to be here." "That's a load of bull," Azazel said. "Like you'll actually just let us go. You already know what you've done here," Azazel said. "Our treaty was to be with Zeus, the king of the gods. What's been done here is unforgivable. The coalition will do what?" Apollo said. "Zeus was agreeing to join your little coalition of deities. We never agreed to it." "That's right," Aphrodite said. "Perhaps new terms could be arranged," Athena said. "No terms, only war," Ares said. Now, children." Hera would settle them as she spoke. "Yes, your coalition was made with Zeus. However, we believe that your coalition will do irreversible damage to us." "How?" "We're trying to cultivate peace among the deities. There's no need for any more unnecessary war or tensions. The fact that you would even do such a thing, especially to your husband, who was already on his deathbed." "Precise. He was already going to die. There was no need for yourselves to interfere." "Then why bring Asia? Why get her involved?" "Is it because she is a descendant of Zeus? Are you that vain that you want to seek vengeance against her? She's done nothing to deserve your wrath." "What did you do to Asia?" Issei said. "I have done nothing to that girl. Believe me, having the descendant of my husband's mistress strewn about in the streets of my kingdom, eating from my table, I believe that I have been more than fair. Unless you want me to take my vengeance, you're not gonna do a damn thing," Issei said. "If you even think about touching her, I will rip all of you apart." "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about," Ares said. "Why are we even wasting time with platitudes? We already know how this is going to end." "Issei," Azazel said, "you need to calm. No! I'm going to kill them. All of them!" Issei would then charge towards the group. Opening his mouth, he would begin to spew flames of hell, forcing them all to retreat. As they readied themselves for battle, Rias and the others would soon follow. Rias, Raynair, and Akano would be the long-distance fighters, shooting off their magic and fight in a long-range capacity, while both Zenobia and Kiba would get up close, Kiba summoning a pair of holy devil swords, while Zenobia would use Ex Durandal. Kiba and Zenobia would engage with the likes of both Thanos and Atlas, while Hyperion would engage in the sky against Azazel, Oceanus against Rosvisa. Hera and Aphrodite, along with Gaia, would stay out of the affairs, while both Ares, Apollo, and Athena would join in the fray, Konako getting involved soon after, while Issei would try to cover their flanks as best he could. The fight between the House of Grimmery and the House of the Rogues would begin to commence on the piles of the famed palace of the Olympian gods. The citizens of Olympus watching on as the culmination of magic and other great power was now starting to cultivate. The army of Olympus not sure of whose side to take in the matter. On one hand, their king, Lord Zeus, had just been murdered in cold blood. But now they had to contend with the likes of not only the Titans, but the rogue gods that served with them. For their own safety, they chose not to get involved. Ares would continue his onslaught along with Yami, the both of them striking at Issei as he attempted to keep them back, using the chain of 1,000 miles, preparing to try to ensnare them in an endless amount of chain, imbued in hellfire to burn them away. The chains, however, would easily be cut through by the scythe of Kronos, as Ares would use the Hydra spear as well. Blood poisonous manipulation, attempting to stun the spirit of vengeance. As Hera watched on, for Gaia, it had been a long time since she had been active in the state of affairs. Even back then, the spirit of vengeance roamed the earth, someone that even the gods were weary of. But now, just some mere child. Nothing to write home about, but still quite powerful. "This has not gone as I expected," Hera said. "There is no need for you to be fearful now, my darling. This is what you wanted." Hera would look back at the body of Zeus that lied on the ground. It still clung to life that was slowly fading away. Zeus couldn't make out any words, just gargles of breath, looking on at what had happened to his beloved home, ravaged by war and betrayal. How had things ever gotten to this point? Zeus would never claim to be perfect, even for a god. He was far from it. But still, there was a shame that washed over him. The shame of knowing that he had allowed things to get to this point. That he had allowed it to get so bad. His children betraying one another. He could feel that Hephaestus was dwindling away in Tartarus, and he could not sense Hermes. Zeus could only look up to the sky, welling tears falling from the old man's cheek. Perhaps this was truly the end. For Issei and the others, they found themselves being overwhelmed. For as powerful as they were, and they were indeed powerful, Azazel was the only one, along with Issei, who could really hold their weight in the grand scheme of things. Everyone else was just lacking in the power department, and going up against both God and Titan alike, they soon saw just how outclassed they truly were. For Issei, fighting in a 2-on-1 against both Ares and Yami, trying to keep them both at bay while dishing out his own brand of punishment, proved to be a lot easier said than done. Ultimately, it would result in him being gravely wounded and being knocked away half across Olympus, along with the other members of the House of Grimmery, as they too were scattered about throughout the great mountain city. The only one that remained was Rias, who was taken captive. Shalabal would give chase after Issei. Thankfully enough, he was knocked so far away that the only way she could keep up was via the silver chariot, her late father's sacred treasure. Riding on the silver surfboard, she soon chased after his body. He was knocked far off and unconscious. The others were all scattered about through Olympus as well. Knowing that they had been outclassed, the only thing they could do was hide their presence. Though, unless they had a way of escaping Olympus, it would do them little good. But they had what they needed. A hostage. And not just any hostage. The sister of Sir Zex, the great Devil King. Let me go! No, Yami said. I have no reason to hurt you. I may be a lot of things, but I am no fool. I don't want to incur the wrath of your brother. Not yet, at least. So for now, you just need to make sure that you behave, and no harm will come to you. The citizens of Olympus gathered around the ruins of the palace. Hera was about to speak, but Gaia would step forward. People of Olympus, for centuries, you have been mocked, humiliated, and scorned. There was a time when you were looked upon by mortals, by other parishes, with honor and respect. But I ask you, where has your honor gone? You followed under Zeus, a mighty king, a great and noble king. You followed under Zeus, who led you into the golden age of the gods. You followed under Zeus, a man who could not live to the title of God and king. Zeus was many things. He was my beloved, my son. Zeus, a boy that I raised. I cared for him. I rose him up to be the great king that you required. Did I fail you in that regard? I gave you a king, and now I will give you another. The rightful king of Olympus. A boy who was cast aside by his own father. A boy who was promised a dream and was denied his birthright. Yami, the king of dreams, the ruler of nightmares. He is the vision of Olympus. He is the one who will guide you into the next golden age. An age where you will not be divided by petty infighting. An age where you will not be led by the whims of a child. For I give you a child that has become a man. A child who will merge together the age of the gods and the age of the titans. Olympus will rise. Do not think that this is the fall of the great kingdom of Olympus. No, this is only the beginning. No longer will we be the gods or the titans. We are champions. This will be the throne of champions. Champions who will earn their title. One day, perhaps one of you will become a champion. And perhaps you too will sit in a throne, beholden to the gods and the titans. Today, we are not the gods of Olympus. We are not the titans of Olympus. We will be the champions of Olympus. Let the champions rise this day. The champions who will reign for all eternity. I ask you to rise with your champions. Rise with your king. Yami would address the crowd. I am the firstborn of Lord Zeus. I was here before there was even an Olympus. When we chose this mountain, my father told me that on this mountain, the dream of Olympus would be built. And I still believe in that dream. What I have done today is the ultimate sacrifice, the ultimate act of love. My father, who was aged, my father, who had fought in many a battle, my father was given the death of a warrior. He was given a noble end. Halls will speak of the name of Zeus and Kronos and Uranus. The dream will never die. But the face of the dream must change. Uranus had the dream. Kronos took the dream. Zeus built that dream. And now I will revise that dream. Because what I dream for is an Olympus that will not vanish into the darkness. We will not be the ones who are forgotten. I bring you your champions, Titan and God alike. We were divided by history, but we are united by bond. For are we not all the children of Uranus, the first god of the skies, of our family? Through him, we exist. And now there are those who wish to control us. There are those who seek our demise. Those who seek to take away everything. But if you follow me, I will not allow that nightmare to pass. For I am not the dream alone of Olympus. You are the dream. Your children are the dream. And their children's children are the dream. Dream not of what Olympus is, but of what we can be. United. Not as God or as Titan, but as champions. We are all the champions of Olympus, are we not? The people would roar in applause, some confusion, others questioning. But Yami could feel that he was winning them over. We have enemies in our midst, members of the household of Gremory. They have tried to steal my birthright. The one known as Issei Argento. She is to be brought in alive. As for the others, you must do your duty as champions. Defend your home of Olympus. Subdue them or strike them down. But regardless, they will not escape the righteous fury of the champions of Olympus. If you have faith in Olympus, if you have faith in the dream, then put your faith in me. With that, the word would spread through Olympus. The search was on for Issei Argento. But what had become of Issei? She found herself deep underground in the catacombs of Olympus. In the dark, alone and afraid. But the only thing that kept her going was a light within herself. Something telling her to go forward in the darkness. A darkness that could not allow her to even see the hand in front of her face. She didn't know what was waiting for her. All she had was her faith and her hope that through this darkness, she would find the light. In the meantime, the Titan God coalition of champions had now been formed. The body of Zeus was carefully sealed away, and Rheus taken captive in the depths of Tartarus. But now as the coalition sat together, the tensions could be felt. For Hera and the gods, Gaia and the Titans, both once enemies now joined under a common cause. The future of Olympus. It will take some time to get the house in order, Hera said. But what has been destroyed can be rebuilt, Gaia said. I don't think there will be any objections to Yami as king. He will only be king in title, Gaia said. But we act as a collective. We can't do anything without the Master Bolt, Hyperion said. And what of the other two? Oceanus would ask. Hades, Poseidon. Poseidon has his own affairs to attend to in the depths of the waters, Gaia said. His domain is on my earth. He will not be persuaded, but he does not have the power to take us all on by himself. As for Hades, he serves as one of the Hell Lords to the realm of Hell, along with Demeter and Persephone, Hera said. He has his own obligations, and again, if he did come here, he could not beat us all on his own. Zeus has been taken out of the equation. Hades and Poseidon will be monitored. Perhaps they can even join us. But if that is not the case, then we will make it very clear. They will stand aside, or they will die. I see. But what are we to do with the girl? Apollo asked. Rheus. When Sir Zex finds out about this, he isn't going to be too happy. He could lead a whole army of devils, along with his coalition as well. You know who they have fighting with them. The Red Dragon Empress and the White Dragon Emperor. They will not be easy to defeat. Once I have hold of the Master Bolt, Yami said, I will have complete control of this domain. For however powerful they might be, we too have tricks up our sleeve. Cards that we haven't even played. And besides, I have favors from people in high places. High places? Apollo asked. I've made some friends in other realms. If needed, they could prove to be very useful to our cause. Is that so? And will you share with us this information? No. It's on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Is that so? Apollo, calm yourself. We are all joined here. What about Artemis? Apollo asked. Has anyone seen or heard from her? No. She's probably still running her restaurant, Aphrodite said. You know how she is. She likes to hunt, so she likes to travel. She was probably off-world anyway. In either case, we need to make sure we keep things monitored, Athena said. Hephaestus is in Tyrus, and when we find Artemis, we'll confront her on things. I would like to avoid killing any more of my siblings. If she needs to be locked away in Tyrus, then so be it. But I pray that Hermes' blood be the last blood that we shed. What's the matter? Yami said. You did what was in the best interest of Olympus, did you not? What regret do you have for killing Hermes? Do not speak of the matter. No, we need to make this perfectly clear. You're not going to play the victims in all of this. None of you are. We are joined together as the champions for a reason. We champion the ideals of Olympus, its goals, its dreams, everything. And that was such an arousing speech you gave, Apollo said. It almost seemed like you had it planned out from the very beginning. I know how to move the heart. But like I said, you will not play victims in this affair. The blood that is shed for the future of Olympus, it will be just as much on your hands as it is on mine. If you share in its blessings, you must share the curse. So what now? Now we must find Asya. The bolt will grant her protection. Who knows what Zeus could have done to it? Because of that, I'm going to have to cast a large net to draw her out. A net? Yes. I'm going to cast a barrier around Olympus. Once I do, I'll have to go into a temporary hibernation. But once I do, I'll be able to look through the dreams of all who are upon Olympus. Granted, anyone with a special divinity or protections will be harder to get access to, so finding her may take a while. But once I lock on to her location within her dreams, I can relay it to you all on the outside. Be ready to mobilize and strike immediately. And we need her alive. Under no circumstances is she to die. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Everyone said in unison. Good. I'm going to retire to whatever quarters haven't been destroyed. Try not to make too much noise for me. As Yami left, The remaining gods and titans sat amongst themselves. An underlying tension in the air. A coalition, a united front built on deceit and betrayal. One that could not last for long. In the meantime, Issei lied on the ground as Shalabal would get to work on healing his injuries. As Issei found himself in deep slumber. This concludes High School DxD Spirit of Vengeance. What if Issei was the ghostwriter? Season 5, Part 7. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that's to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned tomorrow evening as we continue with High School DxD Spirit of Vengeance. What if Issei was the ghostwriter? Season 5, Part 8. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings, signing off, and I'll see you next time.